All right, so let's solve some more problems. So it's third derivative of y with respect to x. So as you can see, ang ating independent variable is x minus 13. Second derivative of y with respect to x is equal to 0. So again, this can be written as third derivative of y with respect to x minus 13. Second derivative of y with respect to x is equal to 0. So this is our third order linear differential equation such that when x is equal to 0, y is 1, x is 0, y prime is 12, x is 0, y double prime is equal to 169. So let us try to solve this differential equation. So using a reduction of order, so factoring this out, so that gives us d squared quantity d minus 13, y is equal to 0, which can be written as d minus 13, d squared y is equal to 0, since multiplication is commutative. So expressing this into of lower order, so let this be q. So this gives us d minus 13q is equal to 0. So that's dq dx plus q times negative 13 is equal to 0. So that's an LDE of dependent q whose integrating factor is e to the negative 13 integral of dx. So that's e to the negative 13x. So once nakuha na natin ang ating integrating factor, i-multiply natin siya sa ating original DE, which gives us derivative of q e to the negative 13x, because that's what make our linear differential equation. So ang aim ng ating IF is to make this equation exact. So this is an exact differential na, so which is equal to 0 times e to the negative 13 is 0. So integrating, we have q e to the negative 13x equals c1. Then q is equal to c1 e to the 13x. So this will be is my first general solution from this linear DE. But we let q kanina be equal to second derivative of y with respect to x. So papalitan ulit natin siya. So that's d squared y equals c1 e to the 13x. So that gives us second derivative of y with respect to x equals c1 e to the 13x. So to eliminate that derivative na dalawa, so I need to integrate this both. So integrating this with respect to x, that's dy equal to c1 integral of e to the 13x dx. Since pag in-integrate natin once, matatanggal yung second order, isa na lang yung magiging first order na ang ating differential equation. So this gives us dy equals c1 e to the 13x plus c2. So again, since general solution ang kinukuha, so whatever we provide here and compensate outside, once multiplied by c1 is still a constant c1. So we have here dy is equal to c1 e to the 13x plus our second arbitrary constant. So remember, this is order 3, so we are expecting 3 arbitrary constants. So hindi pa tayo tapos kasi i-integrate pa natin ito ng isa pa to solve for the value of y. So integrating this with respect to x again. So that gives us y is equal to c1 e to the 13x plus c2 of x plus our third and final arbitrary constant. So this will serve as our general solution. So again, meron tayong initial condition that when y is 1, sorry, when y is 1, the value of x is equal to 0. So again, when y is 1, the value of x is 0. So that's our first initial condition. So when x is 0, the value of y is 1. So substituting, that gives 1 equals c1 e to the 0 plus c2 times 0 plus c3. Then that's 1 equals c1 plus c3. So that will be our first equation. So this is 0 e to the 0 is 1. So again, meron tayong second condition that when y prime is 12, x is 0. So from our from our general solution, y equals c1 e to the 13x, c2x plus c3, we need to get the first derivative. So from y is equal to c1 e to the 13x plus c2x plus c3, which is our general solution. Taking the first derivative, y prime is c1 e to the 13x times 13 plus c2 times the derivative of x is 1 plus 0. Your y prime here is 13c1 e to the 13x plus c2. So there's a given again that y prime is 12 when x is equal to 0. Substituting, y prime is 12. That's 13c1 e to the 0 plus c2. Then 12 is equal to 13c1 plus c2. So this will be my equation 2. So from y prime, kasi ang given natin, y double prime is 169 when x is equal to 0. So our third initial condition, y double prime is 169 when x is equal to 0. So from y prime, take the second derivative. So y double prime is equal to 13 c1 e to the 13x times the derivative of that is 13 plus the derivative of c2 is 0, giving us y double is equal to 169 c1 e to the 13x because 13 times 13 is 169. Then given that y double prime is 169 equals 169 c1 e to the 0. Then c1 is therefore equal to 1. So if c1 is 1, from our first equation we have 1 is equal to c1 plus c3. From our equation 1, substituting c1 there, so 1 is equal to 1 plus c3. Then c3 is 0. So since c3 is 0, and c1 is 1, from equation 2, 12 is equal to 13c1 plus c2. Since c1 is 1, substituting 13 times 1 plus c2. Then c2 is 12, transpose that 13 is negative 1. So c2 is negative 1. So therefore, y is equal to, the value of c1 is 1 times e to the 13x is e to the 13x minus, because c2 is negative, times x is minus x plus c3 is 0. So that will be our answer. So that is letter C. Okay, so let's continue. So we have here third derivative of y with respect to x minus 2d squared minus 5d plus 6y is equal to 0. Then if x is 0, y is 1, y prime is 0, negative 7, and y double prime of 0 is equal to negative 1. So, ifo-factor natin ito. So, ano kaya ang mga possible factors? So, gawa muna tayo ng synthetic division. So, that's 1, negative 2, negative 5, positive 6. So, let's try 2. So, 2, so bring this down, 1, that's 2, 0. 0 times 2 is 0, negative 5, so negative 10. So negative 2 is not a factor. So let's try negative 2. So this becomes 1, this is negative 2. So let's erase this. Okay, so this becomes negative 4. This becomes positive 8. This is 3. This is negative 6, 0. Then this is a root. So therefore, d plus 2 is a factor. So from d plus 2 is a factor, and this becomes d squared minus 4d plus 3. This gives us d minus 3, d minus 1. So therefore, our factors here are d plus 2, d minus 3, d minus 1, y is equal to 0. So here are the factors. So pag na-factor na natin, ililet natin ito as q so that our third order becomes first order DE na. So na-reduce na natin yung ating third order to first order linear differential equation. So this is dq dx plus q times 2. Remember, kahit ano yung independent variable. So I used x is equal to 0. Then, ang integrating factor natin is e to the 2x. So, multiplying our dE with e to the 2x, that's derivative of q e to the 2x equals 0. So, integrating the 2, q e to the 2x is equal to integral of 0, that's c1. So, ito yung una nating solution dun sa ating first order dE. But q, so we let q be equal to d minus 3 and d minus 1y. So substituting it back, by the way, you just need to multiply this by e to the negative 2x first. So magkakaroon tayo ng q, c1 e to the minus 2x. But then again, q is d minus 3, d minus 1y. So substituting it here, magiging d minus 3, d minus 1y is equal to c1 e to the minus 2x. Then we can let this as a single variable, say beta. So that gives us d minus 3 beta equals c1 e to the minus 2x. Because you let beta be equal to d minus 1 y. So that's d beta dx plus beta times negative 3 is equal to c1 e to the minus 2x. So again, ang ating integrating factor ay integral ng ating given coefficient ng ating dependent variable. So that's e to the negative 3x. So multiplying our dE by e to the negative 3x, our integrating factor, that gives us derivative of beta e to the negative 3x, our dependent beta, and our integrating factor. So that's c1 e to the negative 5x, because negative 3x e to the negative 2x, you add the exponent. So that's why it's negative 5x. So integrating with respect to x, so that's beta e to the negative 3x is equal to c1 e to the negative 5x plus c2. So again, ang ginagawa natin is hindi nakasama yung constant because any constant multiplied by a constant is still a constant. So, simplifying this by multiplying by e to the 3x, that gives us beta na lang equals c1 e to the minus 2x plus c2 e to the 3x. But then again, you let beta be equal to d minus 1. So that's d minus 1 y is c1 e to the negative 2x plus c2 e to the 3x. That's the derivative of y with respect to x plus y. Negative 1 equals c1 e to the minus 2x plus c2 e to the 3x. So this is another set of linear differential equation of first order. So kukunin natin ang, sige, let me just rewrite first. So that's dy dx plus y negative 1 c1 e to the minus 2x plus c2 e to the 3x. So ang ating integrating factor is e raised to negative integral of dx, which is e to the minus x. Multiply our dE with our integrating factor. So that's derivative of dependent e and our integrating factor e to the minus x equals c1 e to the minus 3x, this and that, plus c2 e to the 2x. Then integrating to eliminate that derivative. So that's y e to the minus x equals c1 e to the minus 3x plus c2 e to the 2x plus c3. So again, mawawala na yung constant since i-multiply kay constant 1. Then y is equal to c1 e to the minus 2x plus c2 e to the 3x plus c3 e to the x. That will be our general solution. So this is taken by multiplying this all by e to the x to cancel this out. Ay, this one lang. And magko-combine na yung dalawa. So negative 3x plus x is negative 2x. 2x plus x is 3x. C3 e to the x dito. So that's our general solution. So may initial condition tayo. Y of 0 is 1. Y prime of 0 is negative 7. And y double prime of 0 is negative 1. Okay, so let's solve. So y of 0 is 1. So substituting, 1 equals C1 plus C2 plus C3 because e to the 0, e to the 0, e to the 0 ay 1. So this will serve as my first equation by substituting y of 0 is 1 sa ating general solution. So again, y is 1, x is 0, x is 0, x is 0. So C1 plus C2 plus C3 is equal to the value of y, which is 1. So equation 1. Y prime of 0 is negative 7, so y prime is required. Take the first derivative. What's y prime? So that's negative 2c1 e to the minus 2x because derivative of this is c1 e to the negative 2x times derivative of negative 2x is negative 2. That's why it's negative 2c1 e to the minus 2x. Plus c2 e to the 3x times the derivative of 3x is 3. So that's 3c2 e to the 3x. Then you have here plus c3 e to the x as the derivative of c3 e to the x. So since given is negative 7, so magkakaroon tayo dyan ng negative 7 is equal to negative 2c1 e to the 0 is negative 2c1 plus 3c2 e to the 0 because x is 0. So 3 times 0 is 0. So 3c2 plus c3 is still it's now our equation 2. So ang ating third ay y double prime of 0 is equal to 1. So that is y double prime of 0 is negative 1. When x is 0, y double is negative 1. So take the second derivative from this first derivative. So that's y double prime equals negative 2c1 times the derivative of that is negative 2c1 e to the negative 2x times negative 2 plus 3c2 e to the 3x times the derivative of 3x is 3 plus c3 e to the x. Simplifying, y double is positive 4c1 e to the minus 2x plus 9c2 e to the 3x plus c3 e to the x. Substituting the initial condition, that's negative 1. When x is 0, that's 4c1 plus 9c2 plus c3 will be our equation 3. Solving simultaneously, if I am to combine, if I am to combine 1 and 2, let's subtract 1 sa 2. So you have c1 plus c2 plus c3 is 1. Then negative 2c1 plus 3c2 plus c3 is negative 7. So pag sinubtract natin, let us try to subtract. Pag sinubtract natin yung dalawang equation, this change the sign, change the sign, change the sign, change the sign, and proceed to that of addition. So, ang natira natin ay C1 plus, that is 3C1 minus 2C2. So, this cancels out, is equal to 8. So, equation 4. So, we have equation 4. Then, let's subtract naman 2 kay 3. So, 2 minus 3 tayo. What is equation 2 minus equation 3? Equation 3 is negative 2c1. Equation 2 is negative 2c1 plus 3c2 plus c3 is equal to negative 7. Subtract natin yung equation 3. That's 4c1 plus 9C2 plus C3 is equal to negative 1. So again, let's subtract. Pag nag-subtract tayo, this change in sign, change in sign, change in sign, change in sign, and proceed to that of addition. So magiging addition na. So this is negative 6C1 minus 6C2 equals negative 6. That will be our equation 4. So dividing it all by 6, that is C1 plus C2 is equal to 1. So this will be my equation 5. Okay, so there's no more space. So let's use this as our another. You have equation 4 as 3C1 minus 2C2. 3C1 minus 2C2 is equal to 8. And then we have C1 plus C2 is equal to 1. Okay, so I can multiply 2 sa equation. And remember, this is equation 4 and this one is equation 5. So equation 4 and equation 5. So if I'm to multiply 2 sa equation 5, pag nag-multiply ako ng 2 ka equation 5, magiging 3C1 minus 2C2 is 8. Multiplying 2, that's 2C1 plus 2C2 is equal to 2. That cancels out. If we add, magiging 5C1 is equal to 10. Then C1 is 2. So if C1 is 2, we can solve for the value of C2 by substituting it to our equation 5. So sabi ni equation 5, C1 plus C2 is equal to 1. Since C1 is 2, 2 plus C2 is 1. Then C2 is negative 1. Then from our equation 1, C1 plus C2 plus C3 is equal to 1. C1 is 2, C2 is negative 1, C3 is 1. So this is 1 minus 1. So C3 is 0. So since meron na tayong value ng C1, C2, and C3, which ay 2, negative 1, and 0 respectively, substitute na natin sa ating general solution. So again, ang general solution natin ay, from general solution, C1 e to the negative 2x plus C2 e to the 3x. And then last, we have C3 e to the x. Substituting C1 is 2, so y is 2 e to the minus 2x. Minus C2 is 1, which is i-multiply natin kay e to the 3x, plus C3 is 0. So this will be our particular solution. So that